on the first point, the 400 pounds point, that's as high as my scales went.
Okay.
So there is a chance, that I'm underestimating slightly. I don't think I was much more than that, but there is a
Yeah.
chance. But in answer to your question, what made me start? I think there is a very complicated answer, and then there's a very simple answer.
Yeah.
The very simple answer being that, like most people that weight, I was dying. And I think, like most people that weight, you are aware of that on some level, whether you push it right down to the back of your brain or not, you are aware what you're doing is going to lead to your demise. So the simple answer is yes. What made me change was that I was sick of dying. But there's so many little answers. There's so many little things on a day-to-day basis that you push down, you put through, and then, eventually it gets too much. I'm assuming you had a very similar experience.
Oh, yeah, man, I mean, I was going in for I was, like, not I couldn't sleep, right? So I'd wake up, uh, probably 5, 6, 7 times a night, and, like, I'd
Okay.
be choking and, obviously sleep apnea, and I went in for a test, a sleepover test or whatever at this clinic, and I got on the scale and it just read error, error, and they weighed me like 4 or 5 times, and the guy was like, "I have to have a starting weight," and I was like, "I haven't weighed myself in a long time," and so we literally walked across the street to a warehouse so I could weigh on a pallet scale, and it came up at 478, and I I don't even know how many kilos that is, but it's a lot. So, but I was so sad and depressed and like really like gutted maybe as I've heard Australians say before, gutted, right? And
Yeah,
so
you got yeah.
I just I didn't know, like, I was in this gown, it was huge, and he had to tie, like, 3 gowns together for that to fit me, and I went across the street again, and I took the test, and I was sleeping, and he said he came into my room 8 times to keep turning up the oxygen, and he said,
Wow.
"Even at the top oxygen, I thought you were gonna die on my table because you were dipping below 40% all night." And he's like,
Yikes.
"If you don't get this under control, like, you're gonna die." I mean, I was 39 years old, man. I was 30, 38, 39. I can't remember, but I was like, "Man, I gotta take my health. I'm representing a heart supplement. I've gotta
Mhm.
do it." So that was my final enough was
Yeah.
enough. So but after getting kicked out of a all you can eat buffet after my 10th plate, they're like, "Sir, you gotta save
Yeah.
some for these people."
You're sending
So
us sending us broke. No, look, it's interesting because obviously that's kinda like a really top level, it's a big thing that happened that
yeah,
kinda forced that domino to fall. But, I can't speak for you, but for myself, it was the culmination of stuff like, not being able to tie my shoelaces up without having to take a breath. It was, constantly having to hold a pillow over myself when I'm sitting in a public space because subconsciously I'm like, oh, this is going to make me look less fat somehow. And it was a bunch of stuff like that. Like one of the main ones is I went on a holiday. Oh, you fucking fix this up. But
every time I sit
yeah,
down, I go,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. I went on holidays, and we were staying at a hotel. It's quite cheap, quite a budget hotel. And this might be a little bit too much information for the podcast, but we're going to share it anyway. So they had, as most cheap hotels do, a really tiny toilet space,
Yeah,
and I couldn't fit properly. And that was like this like weird little, like, it shouldn't have been that big a deal,
yeah,
but there was that, like, oh my god, like, I can't fit properly on this toilet.
right.
And at first I'm like, "Oh, this is a small toilet," and then I'm like, "No, actually, I'm just really fat."
Phew, yeah.
That's
No, dude,
that's what
I had a similar experience when when I could fit in a middle stall in the gym, and I would always wait for the handicap because it's a bigger space, right?
Yeah.
And so I one day I went into the middle stall and sat down on the toilet and I was like, I can move, I can fit, I can reach for things that I couldn't, like literally in the past I'd be like, I can't do this. And I would just wait for the handicap stall or whatever. And so anyway, dude, the little things like that are huge, bro. I mean,
Mhm.
not even thinking about even the thought of using a toilet on an airplane,
Yeah.
gave me crazy anxiety when I was, and even fitting into the seat without the use of an extender was, and I had a walk of shame. I got kicked off a flight because I couldn't even buckle with an
Man.
extender, bro, and I was just like, "These things, man, it's all add up," like you said, but yeah, just that final one, going over it on the pallet scale was it for me, so that's,
Yeah.